This is your radio, Cayman.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 8th day of December 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Again, those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may be your own. We know that the roads, as busy as they are, will become even busier as we approach the holidays. So again, we urge you to please be careful. We have seen reports, and I will share those with you, of what the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service intends to do to curb traffic violations and try to reduce the number of accidents on our roads during the holiday season as well. We know that there are civic organizations out there who are doing their part as well, but at the end of the day, we as individuals have to take responsibility ourselves. We are the ones who are responsible for our actions, and we have to recognize that there are consequences when we take the incorrect action, or when we make bad decisions. There are consequences for that. The same applies on the roads of the Cayman Islands as well. There are consequences for you not observing the rules of the road. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing as well. And special condolences go out to the family of the late Mr. Cuthbert Forbes. A lot of you know him as Clarence Forbes. Has many, many family members here in the Cayman Islands, and during the course of this week and next week, I will provide you with more information about family, about the service and services that will take place in his memory as well. But today, I just want to send out special condolences to the family of the late Clarence Forbes. Spent a lot of years in the Cayman Islands. His formative years were spent here in the Cayman Islands, and like many of us, went to sea, and from sea took up residence in the United States. He loved his home country, the Cayman Islands, visited as often as he could, even though many of us told him that he needed to come more often, but he visited the Cayman Islands. He loved to see Caymanians progress. He was a firm believer in education. He was a firm believer in education. He impressed that upon his children and was extremely proud of their accomplishments, as well. Family members here also. But he was a strong advocate for Caymanians and for the advancement of Caymanians, and was always so happy when he saw or heard news of Caymanians being promoted or of their educational achievements, as well. Really loved the Cayman Islands. And like I said, I will share more information with you as it becomes available as well. Had the opportunity to speak to his wife last night again, Mrs. Joan Forbes, and she was giving me some information as to when and where the service will take place. And like I said, I will pass that information on to you once everything has been confirmed as well. Those of you who are not well and are either at home or at a medical facility, we wish and hope that you have a speedy recovery as well. Those of you who may be in isolation or quarantine as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, again, we also wish you a speedy exit, a timely exit from your quarantine. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Art Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls, and she'll continue to be there until management decides that she will get her Christmas break. And I'm sure that she's looking forward to that as well. So you can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. Time for us to take our first commercial break. When we return, I will give you the COVID-19 update that was issued by the Chief Medical Officer yesterday, Tuesday, the 7th of December. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
Park your car this New Year's Eve and ride the Purple Ribbon Bus. It's free. Be safe and drink responsibly.
Arrive alive 345. Take the pledge, designate a driver, or ride the Purple Ribbon Bus on New Year's Eve. This message is brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
I am Paulette Connolly Bailey, the Deputy Director at Radio Cayman. As a staff member of Radio Cayman starting in 1984, I represented the station on the office's Central Committee for over 15 years. The Central Committee was the hub for Pirates Week, and at the helm was the late Michael Lockwood, the director at the time. One of the committee's jobs was to oversee the participants from up north that came to participate in the festival and indulge themselves in our culture and history. One of the groups, the Seattle Seafair Pirates, while they were here, assisted us with the anti-drug campaign by visiting our schools. And they also brought the house down with their hearty voices, entertaining our elderly at the Pines. My most cherished memory is when Mike, as he was fondly called, predicted the weather. Mike's forecast was always fair to fine with no rain, and he would follow that by saying, "We've been to church and said our prayers, and the good man above has answered them." I also fondly remember the sparkle in his eyes when he played with the children at the Children's Fun Fair Day, which was organized by a host of volunteers. Radio Cayman was the first media house to broadcast the Landing and Float Parade. Mike Lockwood wanted us to have the best vantage point. So, with the help of Radio Cayman's former Director of Broadcasting, Mr. Loxley Banks, and the Port Authority, containers were stocked up on top of each other at the dock overlooking the harbor. Then a ladder was hitched against them so we could climb up and do our radio broadcasts. I must say we have always had the best seats in town, as we still broadcast from the roof of the South Terminal these days. Pirates Week to me was about sharing our culture and our traditions, community and fellowship, and letting our visitors share in that experience and take back home a little of Cayman with them. Happy 40th anniversary, Pirates Week.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Here we are, gifted with presents, standing in a space denied many. In gratitude to the gift that Christmas is, this very, very special time of year, this time of reflection, celebration, fellowship, mindful of our blessings, mindful of the empty chairs, the precious spaces, the giving of gifts, sharing from steaming pots, making a difference to the many around us in need. Understanding this specialness, these Cayman Islands, feel cool breeze, massaging silver thatched leaves, shimmering in moonlit night, December Cayman. Food, fellowship, worship, in awe of sunsets, the beach, the children. Rotary Club Central, where community service is our ethos. We serve to change lives. Wishing you a delightful, safe, and magical holiday season.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Are you seeking a job in the hospitality industry? Discover over 200 opportunities such as food and beverage, culinary, and pool and beach attendant at the Tourism Job Fair on Thursday, 9th of December from 1 until 4 p.m. at the Governor's Ballroom at the Westin Grand Cayman, 7 Mile Beach Resort. Attend the job fair with a copy of your current resume in hand to speak directly with employers at some of the largest and most popular hotels and restaurants. Registration ahead of time is required. Register at jobfair.ourcayman.ky. Take the next steps to finding your next job.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio. And if you have noticed that we have quite a few death announcements, and as a result, we find that our broadcast extends a little longer. Sometimes we may start a little bit late as well, but unfortunately, it's one of those things where we see people passing, and some of us may look at the number of death announcements and say, well, so many people are passing on. And at the same time, as you get older, you will see more people, within your age group who unfortunately succumb to illnesses as well. So, for Radio Cayman, of course, the most popular radio station in the Cayman Islands, and everyone listens to Radio Cayman, young and old, and as a result of that, our services here are in high demand as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, first I would like to offer condolence to you and the rest of the family of Mr. Forbes. He was a great friend of yours, like a brother. Mm-hmm. So I would like to offer condolence. And I did pass on that number to, and I'm proud to say this, a mayor in New York. He was a mayor in New York. His Truman, from the eastern area.
Or worked in the office of the mayor, I think.
Oh, you did?
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, worked in the office of the mayor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I did that. But what I called for this morning, OC, is I observed that, and you're familiar with this too, a lot of the Rockhole area have been bought out by the corporate for the purpose of parking lots. But if you notice, nobody will use the parking lots. They're all fenced, and I think they did that after their people wasn't using them, and then the Rockwood people, were using them for parking and stuff like that. They have fenced them round and put a gate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, what happens there also is that I don't know if they use that to trick the planning department to get some CO or something like that. You have to have additional parking.
Yes.
But now, what happened? There same staff who are not parking in those lots are now parking on every curbside around town.
Mm-hmm.
So when me and you, who just going in town for 15 minutes to run into a store or to get a document or something, we can't find nowhere in the town area to park. We can circle, and I end up back behind the immigration department so I can get a spot and then walk back to town. So I mentioned this to someone who stated that we should put in parking meters, but I'm not too fond of that. I don't want Georgetown to start looking like everywhere else.
Right.
It already changing as it is.
And if you want to discourage the cars from being on the sidewalk, then don't put parking meters there, because that's only going to attract and encourage it.
Well, I'm not saying that it can't be. We can't park there. I would like for us to be able to park there, but I don't want somebody to park at 7:30 in the morning and move their car at 5:30 in the evening when they have additional parking rates for the corporate place that they work at. Leave that for me and you, who are going to just pull in there for 15 minutes and then we leave. But they park there from morning till evening. So I suggest, I don't know if it's a planning problem, a police problem, but we could hire retired Cayman police officers to walk around town, and they can time and they could put a little sticker on the car with a little ticket or something like that if they park over the time instead of putting in these meters. Because like I said, I wouldn't want Georgetown to be changing like that, because I don't know if you noticed there's some new lights that being put in town, around town.
Street lights or traffic lights?
They're lighting.
Okay.
Street light. There's some is on the waterfront and some is on Heroes Square.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not. To me, they're not islandish. Look more like what I saw in the movie Jack the Ripper, something like that. I thought we would really choose a better, looking light. Or if you want to rejuvenate Georgetown, I don't think that would bring us out to town. So yeah, also I think we need to look into that. And so people like me and you can have somebody to park when we go in town. Excellent. Make those people that bought all the property in Rockwood and run the people out. Use their parking. They can do what the flowers people do. Got a little go-kart. They will probably need more than one. To be at the parking, their designated park, and truck the people or go-kart the people to the office like how the flowers group do across the street.
Yep. Or people need to walk, really, because that helps, in terms of your fitness and exercise and stuff like that. But also, the service that you're talking about, I think at nights, especially those locations where you have corporate offices and people work late at nights and stuff like that and have maybe fearful about walking over to the parking lot, that's the time to have escorts to drive them over there as well. But Lord Graham, we've reached the top of the hour, and I know everybody complains that I have to cut them off to go to either commercial, but we have the 8 o'clock news now. But please feel free to call in if you get the opportunity again, and I'm going to talk some more about Rockhole and about Scranton and Central, because those are the Harlems of the Cayman Islands, and we're beginning to lose them as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
For Christmas, are you thinking roast turkey or glazed ham?
Ooh, let's go ham.
Great. Now for sides, let's do mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and rice and beans.
Yum.
And for dessert, should we go apple or pumpkin pie?
Apple for sure. But when will you have the time to cook this feast?
Oh, I won't be cooking. I'm ordering a holiday dinner from Foster's. They start from just $79.99 and are easy to order online. Just head to fosters.ky.
Easy, delicious Christmas holiday dinners, only from Foster's.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
Do you know how well your pension plan performed? The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended 30th June 2021, the various life cycle funds have provided returns between 8.56% and 36.86%, and our all-in expense ratio is 0.80%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With a look at Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news, I'm Dion Anglin. During Finance Committee, Premier the Honourable Wayne Panton touched on the challenges of undoing the damage to one of the island's most valuable natural resources, 7 Mile Beach.
This is something that has been going on for decades. We have made significant mistakes in the way we have developed, particularly on the beach side, and these are issues that we have to now find solutions for, and it is not easy. It's always going to be better to get it right to begin with, and unfortunately we didn't.
The Premier tells Deputy Leader of the Opposition Joey Hugh that discussions are on the way with advisors internally and externally. While there is a commitment to address beach erosion, there are factors such as climate change and sea level rise which further complicates the problem. Mr. Hugh says he will do whatever he can to help, a sentiment welcomed by the Premier.
I want to say this to the Premier, that southern end of the beach is in my constituency. Elections are over, and I am happy to roll up my sleeves and be a part of this effort.
We're all Caymanians here, and this is a national asset and a national issue that we have to work together to address for the good of the Cayman Islands.
The budget includes funds for a beach renourishment project, but the Premier says they're working through the process and deciding how best to implement the necessary remedy. So far, there are no incentives in the program to pay people to remove seawalls or other structures. In other local news, a reminder from the clerk of the court about the regulations for justices of the peace. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
The Justice of Peace Regulations 2015 set out the code of conduct for justices of the peace in the islands, and they're required to keep a written record of all signatures and land transfers witnessed, as well as all warrants issued. A record also needs to be kept of all occasions on which justices of the peace services are refused and why. JPs who wish to continue to undertake the duties of office are required to submit these encounter records to the clerk of court on an annual basis. This is a requirement of the law. All JPs should submit any outstanding encounter records to the clerk of court no later than the 31st of January 2022, with subsequent encounter records by the 31st of each year. The records may be submitted electronically to Clerk of Court at judicial.ky or hand-delivered to Building C, that's the old Scotiabank building. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
And now for a look at news from around the world, here's the BBC's Jerry Smith.
Germany's new Chancellor, the Social Democrat leader Olaf Scholz, has been sworn in as the successor to Angela Merkel. He'll lead a three-party coalition with the Greens and the Liberal Free Democrats. Our Europe editor is Danny Aberhart.
Scholz marks the end of an era after 16 years with Angela Merkel at the helm.
He's only the fourth German Chancellor in nearly 40 years. The government will now be led from the centre-left, not the centre-right. But Mr. Scholz is promising continuity as well as change, as he aims to build a fairer, greener society. The 63-year-old served as finance minister under Mrs. Merkel. He's seen by voters as a safe pair of hands. Mrs. Merkel was widely praised as being good in a crisis. Chancellor Scholz faces one right from the off, tackling Germany's worst wave of coronavirus infections.
A helicopter carrying the head of India's armed forces, General Bipin Rawat, has crashed in the forested mountains of the southern state of Tamil Nadu. Indian media outlets are quoting local administration officials as saying 13 of the 14 people on board are dead. General Rawat was travelling with his wife. Rajini Vaidyanathan is in Delhi.
This military helicopter came down in South India earlier today in the Nilgiri Mountains, and it's been confirmed that 14 people, all members of the military, all relatives, were on board that plane, including the Chief of the Defence Staff, so India's top military official, General Bipin Rawat. Now, we're not sure of the condition of Mr. Rawat at the moment. It's a huge story here in India. A lot of people are watching this very, very closely.
The World Health Organization says the Omicron strain of the coronavirus has now spread to 57 countries since it was first detected in South Africa 2 weeks ago. In a weekly report, it says the number of people needing hospital care is likely to rise. Its emergencies director, Michael Ryan, has encouraged people to get jabbed.
I would expect, quite frankly, that the vaccines we currently have will show efficacy against severe disease and hospitalisation. But we have to measure that, and we have to confirm that that's the case, and we also have to confirm if there's any loss in that protection. And that's why it's so important that that's the best weapon we have right now, is to get vaccinated.
That will do it for Radio Cayman's 8 o'clock morning news. I'm Dion Anglin.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We're a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. Chamber Pension has an all-in expense ratio of 0.80%, over 16,000 members, and US $463.6 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or request further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
FedEx Delivery. Share this season with everyone by shipping your rum cakes and gifts with 30% off and get an additional 20% on your next shipment. Visit us. Restrictions apply.
We asked 100 people what they would do with a little extra time. Top answers included hang with friends, sleep, volunteer, walking on the beach, watch TV. But the odd thing is, no one said, stand in line to pay my bill. Funny that. Now Logic introduces Logic My Account. Pay online, view bill history, schedule automatic payments, and more. Go to logic.ky/my account and pay online, not stand in line. Logic My Account. Go on. Give yourself a little extra time. Bake a cake, browse the web, yoga, spring clean.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
Pan American Life Insurance Group can help you take your employee benefit solution to the next level.
For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted Palig because we've always delivered on our promise. Palig is the only insurer providing group policies to as few as 3 employees and has the ability to combine life, health, disability, and income protection to provide you and your employees with a complete employee benefits package. Let us customize your employee benefits solution today. Call us at 949-8304 or visit our office at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life. People you can trust for life.
Good morning. Let's take a look at what's happening weather-wise. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 97%. The barometric pressure 30.00 inches and rising. The winds are calm. Overnight low temperature was 74 degrees. Synopsis indicate light easterly winds and slight seas continues across the Cayman Islands over the next 24 hours due to a weak ridge of high pressure over the Caribbean. Satellite images show a few low-level clouds over the Cayman area moving west. Now the forecast for today, fair to partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of late-night showers, and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. High tide will be this afternoon at 1:37, low tide tonight at 8:26, sunset 5:46, sunrise 6:48, and the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday evening. Fresh winds and rough seas are expected from Friday morning as a high-pressure system builds over the southeastern United States. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:10 a.m. Weather Report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
We at Pan American Life Insurance Group are here to help you protect your family and your income. For more than 110 years, millions of people have trusted Palig because we have always delivered on our promise. Life insurance is not only about death, but also about living benefits. We'll help you secure the life insurance, accident and sickness disability income you need to protect you and your family. Call us today at 949-8304 or visit our office, Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Sound Road, or visit www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, celebrate your progress. It's important to acknowledge progress each step of the way as you achieve your goals. Everything that you do to move in that direction gets you a little closer. Planning small rewards along the way can help to keep things interesting and give us a taste of what sweet success will be like.
Change your thinking and change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. On Course Cayman. Health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at traffic. Busy traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown, and traffic heavy on the Linford Pearson Highway, and busy traffic coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Traffic is steady but flowing on Huldah Avenue. Moderate flow of traffic on Godfrey Dixon Way and Eastern Avenue, and traffic is light on Owen Roberts Drive and light to moderate coming from the West Bay 4-way stop. Steady but flowing traffic on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz in both directions. And on North Sound Road, traffic is flowing. Moderate in some section, other sections steady. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office. Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
The technology sector is forecast to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade, with more jobs available than skilled people to fill them. Enterprise Cayman is helping to fill this void and grow the next generation of Caymanian innovators, giving young people access to high-quality learning experiences with the opportunity to pursue careers in technology and innovation sectors. Learn to code, how product development works, enter professional competitions, access high-tech resources, network with special economic zone industry professionals, and much, much more. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to find out more. Brought to you by Cayman Enterprise City. Are you seeking a job in the hospitality industry? Discover over 200 opportunities such as food and beverage, culinary, and pool and beach attendant at the Tourism Job Fair on Thursday, 9th of December from 1 until 4 p.m. at the Governor's Ballroom at the Westin Grand Cayman, 7 Mile Beach Resort. Attend the job fair with a copy of your current resume in hand to speak directly with employers at some of the largest and most popular hotels and restaurants. Registration ahead of time is required. Register at jobfair.ourcayman.ky. Take the next steps to finding your next job.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio this morning. I promised that I would share with you the COVID-19 update issued yesterday, Tuesday the 7th of December. And at 8 a.m. yesterday, Chief Medical Officer Dr. John Lee reported that 530 PCR tests had been conducted since Monday, the 6th of December. Public Health Department reported 61 positive results from these tests, 1 in a traveler and 60 coming from the community. The release goes on to say that these results brought the number of active cases of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands to 3,645. And the total number of cases recorded since the start of the pandemic then stood at 7,724. And up to that point, 4,208 persons in the Cayman Islands were in isolation, either at a government isolation facility or at home. There were 14 COVID-19 patients hospitalized in the Cayman Islands as at 8 a.m. yesterday as well. Public Health Department also confirmed that up to 8 a.m. yesterday, there had been 2,019 total positive lateral flow tests since the introduction of the lateral flow test program in the Cayman Islands, which also included in total positive numbers given. Faith Hospital confirmed that there were 10 active cases in the sister islands, and none had been identified in the previous 24 hours. That is good news. To date, there have been 120 total cases recorded in the sister islands, with 110 having recovered. Out of a total number of cases in the sister islands, 62 were fully vaccinated, 6 were partially vaccinated, and 52 were unvaccinated as well. So again, we see in the sister islands the numbers going down. We see also in Grand Cayman the number of positive results falling, but we also see the number of PCR tests that are being announced or that are being conducted are falling. That number is falling as well. And I'm not sure what we're supposed to take away from that, whether or not the number of infections are decreasing, the numbers is decreasing, or whether or not we just not seeing enough testing being done as well. We hope it is not the latter. But I saw something on TV this morning in the news, and one person commented that if you haven't been vaccinated, then at some point in time you are likely to get COVID. So that's going to be interesting to see. And again, of course, we don't know how long this pandemic will last, but it does not seem at this point in time that it's going to abate any. We see the infections come in different stages, and it accelerates, then it slows down, and then it accelerates again. Then we get different variants as well. Oh, by the way, also, Omicron, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, is identified as, the word is identified as one of the most mispronounced words, especially in the media. Omicron, one of the most mispronounced words, and I'm sure that I have done much damage to it right here on radio as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, the rest of here in Graham just now. And although they deported him from East End, since he came downtown, he's been very historic. So I congratulate him for that, although he don't call me no more, but he still sends me his little greetings in the morning,
Uh-huh.
But, Jose, you remember when Hector Nuku, Jose and Hannah raised up down in the back rock hole there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I went across a couple of days ago and I was lost. If I didn't know exactly where I was born and raised, I would have never find that place. I mean, exactly what Graham said. Why can't the government preserve the Caymanian, the Caymanian, like what you said earlier before you repeated it, so the Caymanian people, their historic rights? Because our house was like, our house from Booster Solomon Shop was the fourth house there.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove down a couple of days and I can't believe, tears came to my eye to see how Georgetown has changed about Rock Hole out there by where your mother house was. I mean, that's like like Manhattan now again. I guess, well, in Manhattan where you raised up, grandmother was up the street there, Miss Maudie. I mean, these Georgetown, Shaden Road, Rockhole, and Mary Street. I mean, that was the heart at Georgetown,
Mm-hmm. And Carla, what is unfortunate about that is that we went through that transition, changed everything, and then all of a sudden, we see places like Kamana Bay open up. We see places like Grand Harbor open up. So businesses, companies started to move out of central Georgetown. So we ravaged it. We put parking lots, knocked down houses. Of course, people sold their property, and some of them may have done that because out of necessity. Some may have done it as a result of what may have been dangled in front of them as far as financial rewards are concerned. But we ravaged those areas, and then we're turning around now and we're abandoning them. The only good thing about that is that holds out the possibility that at some point in time we may be able to regain some of those areas that we lost.
Osi, do you know? Can you tell me where I can find a guava tree now?
Probably like everything else, you have as far as plants are concerned, that you will have to go to one of the nurseries or maybe even the agriculture department to get one, or if you still know persons who have property inland. But there were two areas where guava trees were located. On Crew Road, almost opposite Tropical Gardens, where just after Mr. Roscoe's house was, there was a few mango trees, one large mango tree on the right-hand side when you're approaching that roundabout now, as well as lots of guava trees were there. Also, what is now called Compass Way, and where Alista Towers, and just before you get to Alista Towers, on the left and on the right-hand side, I guess that would have been, we probably knew that as Mr. Will Benny's property.
Yeah, right.
There were guava trees in that area as well. And, of course, we see what development has done to our indigenous plants. And when we do try to replace them, we're replacing them, not necessarily with the with the original plants or the original stalk or the mother stalk of that plant as well. But you don't see too many local guava trees now.
No, I mean, everything that the government has made, these companies or these places, I mean, destroy all the fruit tree, fruit star apples, all of them Jew plums. I mean, my grandmother had the biggest Jew plum in
yes.
And the thought of that, all those old people, they used to give. Right now, you got to run Burger King for breakfast. The people don't want to cook breakfast no more. You used to get your cornmeal porridge in the morning. All of those. Oh, no, man. I mean, Georgetown is gone. I mean, Cayman in general has changed, Real quickly, we'll see how is Dr. Steamerfield doing. He hasn't been on a long time.
He is back in office. Lord Graham has been in touch with him. So he's back in office. And like I said, we're going to have him on the show before the show ends on the 17th of December. He's going to be back on, but he's an extremely busy man at this point in time. As you know, he's also the chairperson of one of this Cayman Status and Permanent Residency Board. And I believe also he may be on one of the tribunals, as well. But he's back in office now and doing quite well. And
that's good. Also, hitting the last note here. Those lights there, right where the courthouse is, they don't look like Caribbean at all. you know.
Okay.
The same one that Graham talked about.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet, but I'll.
Harry Potter.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Ah.
Glad to see you.
Okay.
Glad to see you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. We're hearing, we're talking about Mary Street. Lord Graham called up and spoke about that. Well, I'm going to, when we return, read you an article about a product of Mary Street, and that person entering New York's Maritime College as a cadet in 1965 as well. So I will share that with you when we return, because like I said, Mary Street, Central, Scranton area, they were Harlem here in the Cayman Islands, and we had many who heralded or came from those areas and did quite well for themselves and their families as well. Folks, time for us to take a next commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Are you feeling sick but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough, and sore throat to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
The Ministry of Education invites eligible Caymanians to apply for overseas government scholarships for the 2022-2023 academic year. To apply for an overseas government scholarship or learn more about the various scholarship programs, please visit the recently upgraded scholarship application portal at www.moescholarships.gov.ky. Applications close on Monday, 31st of January, 2022.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. Toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Other numbers 949-8037, 949-6990. Email For the Record, one word, For the Record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, simply follow us on YouTube if you just want to watch and listen to what is taking place on For the Record. So, speaking about our historical neighborhoods here in, I'm going to say Georgetown, because I'm sure that every district in the Cayman Islands had their historical neighborhoods as well. Some districts, the whole district was basically a historical neighborhood. But Georgetown being much larger, much more diverse to a certain extent. And of course, you saw when the movement of persons from the capital, first capital, Bordentown, those persons who settled in Georgetown, the persons, the families who were well-to-do, well-positioned from a financial standpoint or from a property standpoint, they were able to occupy all of the prized locations as far as Georgetown was concerned. And then, of course, the interior went more to those persons who were not necessarily as well off financially, even though some areas, for instance, like Rock Hole, they weren't that far from the sea, as well. So Rock Hole area, Copper Boilers area, Mary Street area, Scranton area, Central. There was a time, it was a name that used to be, I remember it being called Parker's Diggin' as well. And of course, there were some derogatory names that were given to some areas in Georgetown as well. And I will not give any credence to those derogatory names by mentioning them here on radio, because while in those days it may have been accepted and persons didn't register any objections to those names, nowadays, no, that won't happen. We don't allow those anymore. We will not accept those derogatory monikers being attached to areas where people lived as well. But here, Schoolhouse Road, part of the Rock Hole area, produced a cadet by the name of George Smith, who entered in 1965, entered the New York Maritime College. And the Tradewinds newspaper carried an article, and it spoke to the fact that Cadet George C. Smith, son of Arthur C. Smith of Georgetown, Grand Cayman, entered the State University of New York Maritime College at Fort Schuyler in the Bronx, New York, on the 7th of September 1965 as a member of the class of 1969. So he would be the class of 1969, meaning that he would graduate in 1969, entered in 1965. The article goes on to say that he's one of 215 cadets who are now undergoing their freshman year in the oldest maritime school in the United States. He will study for his bachelor's degree, and upon graduation in 1969 will qualify for a ship's officer's license in the United States Merchant Marine and will be eligible to apply for a Naval Reserve Commission. The Maritime College offers curriculums in maritime engineering, maritime nuclear science, maritime transportation and meteorology, and oceanography. I'm getting tie-tongue like Omicron now, Susan. It goes on to say that Cadet Smith, 4-C, is a graduate of CCC school. So there is a product of Rock Hole, Mary Street area for you. Here's another one. He wrote an article in the Tradewinds newspaper on that date. And after I read this, I'll give you his name, and I'll give you his name, read it, and tell you a little more. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I can go by what I've been told and some conversations that I had the pleasure of having with the gentleman as well. Thatch Rope Industry by Mr. Woodrow Smith. And Mr. Woodrow Smith would be would have been. He's the late Woodrow Smith was the son of the late Alvis Smith of Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Mr. Alvis Smith was renowned entrepreneur in Georgetown, along with others like Mr. William Nixon, like Mr. Shirley Macfield, like Mr. Herbert Solomon, when you start mentioning names and then you miss out some, the Bryans, Sister Bryan, their family, entrepreneurs, all in that area as well. But Mr. Alvis Smith, the fanciest cars, the most modern version or models he would have, as well as Mr. Shirley Macfield. Mr. Shirley's favorite car was the Cadillac. He used to love to drive a Cadillac. And Mr. Alvis Smith, I think he liked the Chevys, the Bel Airs, and the Bel Air Chevrolets and things of that nature. But his son, Mr. Woodrow Smith, who was one of those who attained the highest secondary education in the Cayman Islands and would have graduated with many of his peers, his colleagues at that time. He wrote an article about the thatch rope industry published in 1965 in the Trade Winds newspaper. And it starts by saying, as I approach the subject of thatch rope, I view this with grave concern, seeing that it has been such a valuable contribution to our economy, but now has made a shocking decline in its manufacture. Although there is no direct medium through which the origin of the rope making can be determined, it is believed by many to have been perfected by the slaves who succeeded the Spaniards in the Cayman Islands. In order to make the thatch rope, the procedure is to cut the thatch, allow it to dry, and then when the strands have been wound in lengths varying from 25 to 100 fathoms, it is prepared in coils and sold to the local stores. The government has always been responsible to ship this cargo of rope to Jamaica, which was its chief market. The manufacture of the rope in the past 10 years has declined because, and I'm going to use this word, and I'm sure that if Mr. Woodrow Smith were around today, he would not use this word because he was also a progressive. But the word that he used then, he said in the past, the manufacture of the rope in the past 10 years has declined because the natives resort more to seafaring for their livelihood. And like I said, he used the word natives there, but being the progressive that he was, if he were amongst us now, that would not be the word that he would use, not natives. Goes on to say, but it is felt that the government should take some steps to make an effective way to encourage this industry and come to the realization that the bridge which once carried us across may once again serve its useful purpose. And those were the words in an article written by Mr. Woodrow Smith, who was renowned to have a tremendous command for the English language and the use of words in the Cayman Islands. And for that, he was admired and respected by his peers as well. We do have callers, but we have to take a commercial break. When we return, we will take those callers, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamped Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamped Motors, Walkers Road.
Christian Enlightenment Center is Cayman's source for the good news. Our store is filled with Christmas items and we're ready to help you get prepared for the holidays. We have gifts for everyone: calendars, planners, and promise books, home decor, Bibles, books in large print, and beautiful nativity sets. Our children's department has gifts and stocking stuffers for the little ones. Want a great gift idea? How about a journal, a daily devotional, and a water bottle? Now that's a personal gift bundle. Christian Enlightenment Center is located on Elgin Avenue, but we now offer delivery services. We're open Monday through Saturday with extended hours for the holidays. Christian Enlightenment Center.
Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor Square and Grand Harbor is Christmas ready with shelves full of Hallmark and shoebox greeting cards, Hallmark gifts, and of course, essential designer brand name colognes for men and perfume sets for women. We have something for everyone on your gift list. Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor will be open on Christmas Eve till 10 p.m. and on Boxing Day from 10 to 6. Need prescriptions filled for the holidays? Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky to refill and transfer prescriptions online. We care about your holidays and your health at Healthcare Pharmacy.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
And
I was 80 years old on Thursday last week.
Yes, sir. I wanted to wish you a belated happy birthday this morning as well, because I had been alerted to it, but during the course of the show, of course, I have my phone, I have a WhatsApp phone, I have the computer here, and some people will send me stuff on Messenger by text message as opposed to my WhatsApp, and then of course, when I go and I check my messages, I see them a day or two later on, which is unfortunate. But a belated happy birthday to you, sir, and may you live to see many more. And if you look anything the way that when I saw you last, you were 80 years young and still going strong, and you're blessed for that, sir.
Yes, I'm grateful for that. The Lord has blessed me very much. That wasn't really why I called. Excuse me. I heard you talking about Mr. Woodrow Smith.
Yes, sir.
And Actually, I was working at the Merrin's Hardware store on Shedden Road in late 59 or early 60. And actually, after that, my uncle Elroy said, boy, stop wasting any time there and come and work with me. So I went to work with my uncle Elroy for the same wages I started on. And that was in April 1960 when he was working, when I joined him building the West Indian Club.
Okay.
And I started that at the bottom of his ladder. He treated me no different than anyone else. But thankfully, by 5 years later, I had improved to where he made me foreman of Caribbean Club for him.
Wow.
So I think I did well in 5 years with no formal training, but a lot of, I guess, gifts of the trade and so on that I was probably, that was in my genes from both sides of my family and so on. That, again, that wasn't why I called. Why I called was pertaining to Mr. Woodrow Smith. When I was there working in the Merrin's Hardware store, he came in one day and asked if he wanted to purchase an apparatus in order to inflate his conveyance. It took a little while for us to figure out what he wanted. You know what it was?
A bicycle pump?
Yes, a bicycle pump. So he could really, I guess, I don't know what to say, he was blessed with knowledge of the English language.
Yep.
And he didn't mind using it either.
He loved that flowery language, yes.
Yes, sir. He said, I would like to purchase an apparatus in order to inflate my conveyance. And then one other time, I know someone asked him something about what he thought of some building. I don't remember which one it was or what, but someone asked him what he thought of that building. He said, I think it's a modernly designed piece of architectural camouflage. I don't know what you would say now.
Yes. While we're on the top, while we're on the topic of construction, I think it was last week or week before I read the article about the Presbyterian Church, the United Church in West Bay. Did you work on that as well? That was
no, and I'm still wondering how Uncle Jim could build that for £8,000.
Right. Yes, yeah.
That was a kind of technical building. It wasn't a straightforward job either. And I don't know how to believe that it was only £8,000 it cost, but maybe people donated some labor or something.
Probably more.
Yep. He might not have had to pay for the full cost of all of the labor or whatever. That's the only thing I can imagine. But I don't see, even though it was a long this time back, it still sounds a bit difficult for me to understand how he could build it for that price at that time.
Yes.
I'm not saying that he didn't do it, but I'm saying wondering how he did it. You know? Anyway, I just thought I would stick a little pin and give you a couple little hints on what I know of Woodrow Smith.
Thank you.
I used to work for him too. Used to work for him on his house, and he would pay me with 5 shilling notes. I know they came straight from Captain Ben Barr.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And
I thought he paid in 5 shilling notes.
And he turned out to be an entrepreneur himself. You know, he had built some apartments, I believe, down in the Whitehall area.
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't have anything to do with him, but I did work on his house. For him. I think it was some renovations I did inside the house or something for him.
Yes.
But he was a nice guy.
He was.
Straightforward and no nonsense, man. And I forgot to tell you about the shoes he had. I don't know how many pairs of shoes it was, but I believe he used to polish every one of them nail every day. And they were sparkling bright in his closet. He was really a meticulous guy. And he dressed to go out. He looked like he just come out of the, I don't know. His clothes were so neat and tidy.
Yes.
He was always very outstanding. And used to see him riding to work on his bicycle every morning and going home in the evening. Unfortunately, he used to work in the bar with his father.
Right.
For his father.
Right.
But other than that, I respected Woodrow a lot.
Yes. Many people.
The whole family were nice people.
They were. Yep. Mr. Tommy, I want to thank you very much for that. And we hope that you live to see many, many more birthdays as well. And thanks for your contribution to the Cayman Islands as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay. We have enough time to grab another caller before we go to headline news at 9 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. Merry Christmas.
Good morning. Thank you. Same to you. All the best.
Add a little bit of history to what Mr. Tommy was saying. For the John Gray Memorial Church, the stained glass window that's high up at the top, right? That was, as far as I can remember, that was donated by Mr. Bendel Tracy. You remember the two houses, Tracy Astor and Holman's house? Well, Mr. Tracy donated the stained glass window there. And he's right that they had a lot of contributions, because I remember in the night my father used to loan the members of the church his truck, and they used to get the sand from the Hennings Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of, I remember a lot of the young boys.
Now tell us where the Hennings Beach, where that would be now.
Okay, that is just below the Alfresco's, the beach there with the wall before you hit the public beach.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the congregation members there in the night used to get the sand, and the children used to help load it on and all like that. So I'll share that a little bit. Okay?
Okay, and I was told, one of the articles that I read also, the building of the church may have been delayed a bit because of the tiling. One of the persons who was doing the tiling had gotten in a car accident and had their leg or foot broken something, and that sort of delayed part of the construction as well. They had to get someone else. I believe it was Mr. Casely Wells, who then stepped in and finished the tiling on the church as well. I'll have to go back and read that article again.
Yeah, I know that something had happened and it was a delay, but I can't remember for sure, who actually stepped in.
I think it was a person by the name of Bell who originally was doing the work on the tiling.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you a photograph that when the church was built, I came across it, some pictures from, I used to call him Eddie Cuckoo. That was my husband's brother-in-law.
Okay.
And I handed a lot of photographs over to that family.
Okay.
But I kept one with Miss Georgia's husband wearing a sombrero. Remember Mr. Nathan? I promised to get it to the family, but I never got around to it. And after the church was built, what is now the parking lot across from the church?
Yes.
You can see that was a small grass piece, I would call it, all grown up. But what I could do, I could scan it and send it to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you. I look forward to that. Please send them to me so that we can share them. Ms. Susan, almost top of the hour for headline news. Let's go to that. We do have a caller, but we will take that caller as soon as we return. So, folks, just bear in mind, no guests in the studio. Want to hear from you. We're here talking about, last caller talk about sand and using a truck to get sand. But in the Christmas time, some of us, and we were talking with Miss Susan this morning before the show started about how they used to back sand in Cayman Brac as well. And of course, we as young children, we had to help as well, but we couldn't carry the big containers. And those days, if you had a wheelbarrow in your family, you were considered to be quite privileged because you had to use buckets and everything. In those days, you didn't have the plastic buckets that you get now with the what they use, the compound for sheetrock and stuff like that. You never got those days, or the Mamaran and stuff like that. We had to use the paint can, which was a 1 gallon paint can. But if you were a little 5-year-old, that's about all that you could carry anyway. So, folks, headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, the conversation will continue, and if we can, let's keep it about old Cayman. A lot of people are talking about, do we really want to go back to those days? We just have to remember where we came from because that is extremely important. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Cayman Islands now has 3,645 active cases of COVID-19, 61 new positives, all but one are community cases. As of 8 a.m. this morning, 14 COVID-19 patients were hospitalized. Just over 4,200 people are in isolation. There were no COVID-19 vaccination clinics held on Monday. Good morning, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, Olaf Scholz has been sworn in as Germany's new chancellor, bringing to an end Angela Merkel's historic 16 years as leader. He was voted in by the German parliament, where his three-party coalition has a substantial majority and given a standing ovation. The handover of power marks an end to Mrs. Merkel's 31-year political career. And Japanese entrepreneur Yusaku Miyazawa has blasted off on a trip to the International Space Station, joining the growing list of billionaires who have made it to space. He plans to carry out 100 tasks in space, including playing golf. Mr. Miyazawa made his fortune through e-commerce companies, including ZozoTown. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio K-Man on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio K-Man app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold, and I want to thank that caller for being so patient. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
So what's it?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm picking on you now, you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm going to pick on you. In the early 70s, you know, when I was in Jamaica, I used to go to the racetrack, and in the morning, in the day, when the horses come out the gate, there was sometimes 16 and 10 and different. And there was a rider named George Osang.
What's the last name?
George Osang. It was a Chinese.
Osang? Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
It was a Chinese jockey. And once, if you buy a horse in that race and you don't buy him, once him riding in that race, you're going to lose. And he's the stylishest rider you can ever think of in Jamaica. And leave Jamaica a long time now because, you know, he have to go away because people was threatening him, said, them can't buy another horse and win, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just saying this to say that, you know, I watch you ride over these years from way back in the 90s. And anywhere you there yesterday morning I saw you into a big field. into a huge field of rider yesterday morning, you know, and you as well over these years, you as well at the front. And you was a very, very stylish rider because nobody never tell you. You ride with your head up, just as that Chinese jockey, you know. You ride with your head up in the air and you as well at the front of the race. And yesterday man, I was looking for you at the front, but I didn't see you. I see you in about third position. And I
at what spot did you cross us?
I give a shout, man, right up by the roundabout by Red Beer there. You know, just as you turn to go up, and it was a huge field. But you know the speed limit where you were going? You didn't know? You was going 28 miles an hour. And I said, who was he? You know? Yeah, but you know, you lead some good field, you know, from in the 90s, you know, before, after, you know, then didn't have them bypass like our bypass. But it's some good field you lead all the way to Baden Town, north side and all of that, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Over the years, you know. And you still do well, you know.
Yeah.
You did not the front yesterday morning, though, you know.
Probably too tired. I'm probably too tired by then, but like some people say, I've got too much invested in it to stop now.
Right. It's a long time, you know. It's a long time. And me I tell you, man, yesterday morning, Uno was clipping, you know. It's about how much are you yesterday morning? Around probably 15?
Yeah, probably between a dozen and 15, because there are persons who join us along the way. Now, was that group heading back east, or they were going west?
No, you were going east, man. You were looking
okay. I may not have been in that. I may not have been in that group. I'll tell you why.
No, man, you were in that group.
I was.
Okay. Yeah. I said, oh, see, and you say you shot me back.
Okay.
You was flipping hard, was going up hard, man, heading towards Barton,
Okay, because sometimes they they drop the old man. Sometimes they will drop me.
Yeah, but you can't miss me out of race, because I know you ride stylish. You're stylish, and you ride with your head hold up. You kind of ride little leanish with your head hold up, and you were clipping yourself. Uno was clipping, man. 28 miles per hour, was going up, So, no give up a girl up,
I won't. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the encouragement, too.
Blessing, man. Blessing also.
Okay, take care. All the best. We do have another caller, Miss Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, Mr. O.C. Lucio Seymour here.
Good morning.
I just wanted to remind you of 3 other entrepreneurs in that possibly a little before that era.
Yes.
One was Mr. Reggie Bernard.
Oh, yes. Uncle Reggie, his family to
and
me.
One was Thomas Seymour.
Yes.
The other one was Austin Seymour.
Yes.
Who had that shop not far from where your mother's family came.
Right.
Up by Mr. Willoughby and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to say a little bit about Woodrow Smith.
Yes.
Who was a contemporary of my brother Edmund, who both of them tried to eat dictionaries, I think. And I remember, Mr. Smith going to school. He went to the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember his father could afford to send all of his children to the Cayman Islands High School because he was an entrepreneur.
Right.
So all of them went, and I remember Carden and Woodrow both were great athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But what I remember, one day I went to the store, and Mr. Wesley, remember him? Wesley Ebanks was serving in the house.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Wesley, if I can interrupt you for a second, Mr. Wesley from North Side, and he managed the Marin's Brand store on Shaden Road, right where Stanwic's Plaza is located now. And he would come, Mr. Wesley would spend a whole week in Georgetown and go up to his family and his home in North Side on the weekends. My mother used to cook for Mr. Wesley.
Yeah, and I remember one time he was serving in Marin's hardware store, and Mr. Woodrow went in there and he said, I would like to obtain an instrument to inflate my immediate means of transport.
Yeah, Mr. Tommy mentioned that this morning, yeah.
Mr. Wesley said, well, what are you talking about? He said, a pump, sir, a pump. So, it is nice. I mean, it's nice to reminisce on people who have gone before and who looked at education differently.
Yeah.
And it's good that you can reminisce today.
Yeah, and before you go, when we look at where we are today and the opportunities that the people have in many instances, where would persons like Mr. Woodrow Smith and your brother Edmund, in this generation, where would you think that they would be placed in terms of the abilities and the drive that they had at that point in time? They would be industry leaders in Cayman today?
Possibly been a politician.
Yeah.
I think he would have continued to be a businessman,
but
he would certainly have been awfully rich.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about it on the phone, but the division we had in our country in those days kept learned people like them from becoming something.
Yeah.
Because they came off this different side of the street. Or a different name of the street, or their hue, or something like that, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That happened. So we have to keep reminding the young people that they are fortunate.
Extremely fortunate. Yeah.
It's a better democratic process than when we all grew up. You know that, Elsie.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah, Cayman. We got to learn from our history, as you said this morning. And I'm glad that you're bringing these things to fore, that they can remember. It's really unfortunate that we don't remember the Cayman that time forgot. It's unfortunate.
Yes, yeah.
And again, as I said the other morning, I've been trying to push people to go and watch that film, because if people, especially poorer people, were to see the tenacity of that parent, they would change their mind about what to expect from people who don't want their children to be something.
Mm-hmm. But Miss Lucille, before you go, you at one obituary, and you have read about the Shedden Road and the people on Shedden Road. I don't know if I'm sure that you're still in possession of that document that you, and that needs to be published somewhere. Now we can put it on, we have consumers on social media, people who love to consume things like that. I think there's a Facebook group called Old Caymanian. And things of that. You need to publish. You still have that, remember? Because I wanted to get a copy of that from you, because that was so well put together. Because I know you talk about Woodrow and you talk about your brother, but we can't leave you out of the conversation when it when it comes to having command of the quote unquote Queen's language as well.
Oh well, I learned a lot from my brother Edmund. He was my teacher.
Yes.
I really did. It's unfortunate. Cayman we have to get down and pray for what we've done people in their lives and not made them able to shine.
Yeah.
And we really have to. And the government must be very strict. I noticed that, I must say about Mr. Andre A. Banks, I think if he gets through what he wants to get through, he will give people an equal chance.
Mm-hmm,
Not that others didn't, but I think because there's a special ministry called Social Development now, I think there's going to be a difference in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah. But again, going back to that document, if you can share that with me, I would love to share that with my audience here.
But
because
one of the things I'd like to say here, OC, is that we keep hearing that Caymanians are lazy. And one of the comments that I make is that the government should try and prove it or disprove it. If there are ways you can find out these things, and they must go and try to find out if what people are saying is true, then how do we rectify it?
Exactly.
If it is not true, then how do we change your mind? And that is, if we don't do that, we're going to continue to have different people in different places that really didn't have any kinship to us.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate.
So true.
You have a nice day. One day we'll be on the radio again.
Thank you very much, Miss Lucille, for that. Miss Susan, we have them queued up, but we may as well take the commercial break so I don't have to interrupt the next caller to take the break. Folks, please stay tuned. All of those calls who are on hold, we will take you as soon as we return. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
FedEx Delivery. Share this season with everyone by shipping your rum cakes and gifts with 30% off and get an additional 20% on your next shipment. Visit us. Restrictions apply.
It is the season of giving, and there is no better place to shop than Penha Perfume, MAC Cosmetics, and Victoria's Secret. Check out our Christmas gifts and collections at amazing prices. Plus, when you sign up for the Penha loyalty card, get 3% back on all your purchases. And while you shop, enter raffles to win major prizes of up to $5,000. Penha, MAC, and Victoria's Secret on 40 Cardinal Avenue, Georgetown. Merry Christmas.
The technology sector is forecast to be one of the fastest growing industries in the next decade, with more jobs available than skilled people to fill them. Enterprise Cayman is helping to fill this void and grow the next generation of Caymanian innovators, giving young people access to high-quality learning experiences with the opportunity to pursue careers in technology and innovation sectors. Learn to code, how product development works, enter professional competitions, access high-tech resources, network with special economic zone industry professionals, and much, much more. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to find out more. Brought to you by Cayman Enterprise City. Are you seeking a job in the hospitality industry? Discover over 200 opportunities such as food and beverage, culinary, and pool and beach attendant at the Tourism Job Fair on Thursday, 9th of December from 1 until 4 p.m. at the Governor's Ballroom at the Westin Grand Cayman, 7 Mile Beach Resort. Attend the job fair with a copy of your current resume in hand to speak directly with employers at some of the largest and most popular hotels and restaurants. Registration ahead of time is required. Register at jobfair.ourcayman.ky. Take the next steps to finding your next job.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have about 4 callers on hold, so we're going to ask each caller to please be as brief as possible. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning.
Me again. It's me again.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Kurt, Sir Craig, I don't think it's too happy about the gentleman that called in that gave you those accolades about maintaining 28 miles an hour against the wind. You know, he's not up to that task no longer, so you're not too happy about that. Wondering if you got the gentleman to call in. You know, so you need to get on him with that.
Well, we have to tell him that he needs to take his bikes out of the closet, all those pretty fancy bikes that he has, expensive bikes, the new ones, and stop keeping them for show and get out there on the roads with us.
Yeah. Another thing, I'm not taking anything away from Miss Lucille, but I think the correct wording that Mr. Smith used at the store was that I would like to purchase an apparatus to inflate the tube of my transportation. Simply, the man wanted a bicycle pump.
Yeah.
You know, but that was how well spoken those men was back in the day. And another thing I'll say, I want to congratulate you on this segment today. I think you should have something similar, just dedicated to this, similar to what those guys from West Bay do. See what you're saying?
Okay.
And you could invite people on like Miss Lucille, and you got a lot of other people in the town area. You hit it up. I know Alvin can put in his input from East End. I got a cousin named Marvin Johnson, who I think is about 150 years old, because all the things that he tells me, you know, and stuff like that. We need to, because what I think, OC, is that, for example, I got younger kids that I talk to about bonfire. That is something I grew with. That's all I knew. I knew that. So if we don't continue it, the younger ones will not fight for it because it's not in their system. It's not part of their culture. They don't know anything about it, you know?
Yep.
So, and Celebrate Cayman, I think, should be more than just blocking the street and going out town, sell some, have a cake. You know what I mean? And, you know, so I think we should do more. We should do more.
Agreed.
Like get you involved in that. You can do something on the radio because a lot of people now are listening to you, and you have started off by reading a lot of those clippings from way back newspapers. So I want to congratulate you on that. Not on the 28 miles an hour you were going, because Craig still have doubts about that.
Okay. Before you go, we know that and it has been mentioned here on Radio Cayman off air, that a lot of Caymanians during the holiday season, Christmas time, would go, the seafarers would go down to Luisito Hyde's house and, you know, just sit around and talk and, you know, socialize with each other and stuff like that, whether or not that still happens during the holiday season, you know?
It was happening, but I'm not sure if it continued. I started something by me with Sidney Jackson and the likes, and then he passed on us, and then I never had another one. But
But I would like for us to start getting back together and getting Joelle. She knows a lot too.
Yes.
And you could hate it up. I would like you to be the one, the spokesman, to hate it up. And because if we don't do it, it's gone, OC.
So
because
true.
we're the only one that know it.
Yep.
You guys are the one that know it. And just like I tell you, if it's not in our part of our culture growing up, it's going to be hard to introduce it to the younger ones.
So true. So true.
You know?
Okay.
So, all right, talk to you later.
Take care.
I spoke to our friend just about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
He listened to the radio too.
Excellent.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi, I can't compete with that, with 28 miles an hour on the bike. But I used to ride back in the day, and I used to ride from Bontown to Georgetown every day. I mean, get to town in 20 minutes on the bike. So I mean, it was pretty much close to your speed, I think.
And you probably didn't have to encounter as much traffic as we do these days.
No. And it wasn't as dangerous either.
Yeah.
Since you're on the note with all of the good stuff from the good old days, and first of all, happy birthday or belated happy birthday to Mr. Tommy. And he was talking about how this man was so manipulate or immaculate with his clothes and whatever else. Well, I can tell you, I worked not for Mr. Tommy, but with Mr. Tommy on a few projects, and that was Mr. Tommy as well. You know, he worked in the cement, but you never saw him with cement on him. So, and he was always spick and span. I mean, no dirt, no nothing.
Okay. Yep.
But now, with the old time days, I remember going and with the paint pans to the beach to collect the sand and piling it up, and just a couple of days before Christmas, you spray it out, make it, all white, and then you get the conch shells and so forth to border your little gardens, and it was awesome. And then we used to go to South Sound to cut our Christmas trees.
Yep.
The willow trees and decorate them with tinsel, and you had a few lights, you put it on. But if not, I mean, you use your tinsel and other things. You go to the beach, you get shells, you put a little hole in it and string it on the tree. Those were the days. And
they certainly were.
If you, we used to go and slaughter cows as well, and you had to make sure you had your smoke pan with you. So,
okay.
I just wanted to share a little bit of what I went through, and I tell you the truth, I enjoyed those days, and I always reminisce about them.
That's the way to go. Want to thank you very much, and make sure I'm sure that you're passing it on to those younger ones in your families as well. As well. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Take care. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you as well. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go right.
Mr. Connor?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Hilda Smith, and I'm the daughter of the late Woodrow Smith.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a little bit reluctant to go on air because my father was very, very humble, and he didn't like to talk about himself and his accomplishments, etc. But there are 3 points which I would like to make about my father and my mother as well.
Sure.
They were very, very humble, and they had the community at heart. For example, on one occasion, my father sent me on an errand, and he wanted me to go to 3 different stores to purchase 3 different items. So I actually went to one store because I could get everything from one store. When I came back home, Daddy said to me, but you didn't do what I told you. I said, well, how do you know? He said, because number 1, you came back too quickly. And then he actually sat me down and he explained to me, the reason I sent you to 3 different stores is because you have to share the pie.
Wow.
So I was supposed to go to Mr. Arthur's store to get something. I was supposed to go to, I think it was Comart, and then the next place I had to go to, he said, you have to remember that we have to share the pie. And so he just wanted to make sure that all of those vendors managed to get something for themselves from him. And then another thing was Daddy always got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and all of us, there are 7 of us, well, there are now 6 children, because one of the brothers passed away. But my parents always got us up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we always had to do chores prior to going to school. And on the weekends, it was the same thing. We all had chores to do. And a lot of people would think, well, because you came from a what I would call a privileged background, that we had nothing to do. But
or those old people would say, well-to-do family.
we had more work to do than the other children, because some of my siblings would say, well, this child isn't doing that and this child isn't doing that. Why do we have to do it? And my father would say, because one of these days you're going to have all of this experience and you'll be able to take care of yourself. Then the third point is that, every year we would get a brand new set of encyclopedias, whether it was the New World or Britannica encyclopedias, and that's what we read for entertainment, because my parents were of the opinion that, you need to occupy your mind, and you need to be physically fit, and you also need to be healthy. So that's what we would get. Every year we'd get a brand new set of encyclopedias. And when I got my allowance, I remember, of course, you had to do your chores and then you got your allowance. But whenever we got our allowance, the first thing we would do, we would go to the Hobbies and Books. And I still have it to this day, my first little encyclopedia that I bought for myself. And so I'm just saying that decades ago, half a century ago, whatever it was, the morals that people had back then were much more different from they are now. And I reminisce about it. In fact, up until 2-3 days ago, I went by my father's grave because it was the 34th anniversary of his death. And, I don't expect to go back to those days, but I just wish that some of the morals that we had growing up were continued, to the present day. But anyway, like I said, I was reluctant to call because I know my father and my grandfather, my mother as well, they never liked to be in the limelight. But, I just wanted to thank you for airing that article that my father wrote. And
I want to thank you for calling in and sharing, those intimate details, with us as well, because, we sit on the shoulders of persons like your dad and your grandfather as well. And it is important for us to know where we came from if we are to know where we want to go or where we're going to go at the end of the day. And I want to thank you for, sharing your experiences as well. Thank you very much.
And, one other thing is, and then I leave, but my grandfather, I call him Papa Alve. He always said, if you can count the work that you have done, you haven't done enough.
Wow.
So that is the motto of his descendants. Whatever contributions we make, whether it's no matter what type of contribution, we don't want to hear about it and we don't count it, because if you're counting what you've done, you're not done enough.
That's true. Yeah, so true. I'll remember
thank you
that.
Once
I'll
again
remember that.
Thank you once again for letting me say that little part about my parents and my grandfather.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you very much. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we do have callers on hold, so the conversation will continue. Please stay tuned.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the feel.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good. Study local and go far this spring. Want to start your bachelor's or associate degree or just need a few classes to complete? Registration is now open for spring classes at UCCI. Scholarships are available for the spring semester, but you need to act now to meet the deadlines. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky to enroll now. Classes begin January 10th. Enroll by December 1st for a chance to win an iPad or a laptop.
The community is reminded to ensure the proper disposal of used LFT kits. Place the used LFT and all items into the marked bag with the biohazard yellow triangle symbol provided with the kit, and then discard in the garbage bin. For more information on waste disposal tips, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky or their Facebook page or call 949-6696.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We still have 3 callers on hold. Before I go to the callers, just want to read what one listener wrote in and said and shared with us. And they've said that one of the huge panels in that window was, that is speaking about the United Church in West Bay, now known as the John Gray Memorial Church, that one of those panes in that window was also donated by Captain Ali Ebanks' family as well. So we want to give credit to Captain Ali Ebanks' family for their donation of one of the glass panes in the church as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am very grateful. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. Just wanted to go back to Old Cayman Christmas time. One of the callers already mentioned something I was going to say, but I'll add a little bit to it. And it was when they went to get the sand from the beach to spread the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my nana, she used to make these, what they call them ground baskets.
Yep.
And that's what they went to the beach with to get the sand. And each person had, whoever was riding the bicycles, you put one on each handlebar, I guess, to balance it, and that's how it was transported from the beach to her yard. And what I remember prior to that, we used to have to cut rosemary, and you would put that down and make it dry, and then she made a broom with it, and that broom was used to sweep the sand to keep it clean. And then, of course, her walkway was always done, the walkway up to her house was done with the conch shells. And, the pinker they were, the more beautiful it was against the white sand. Then, when she made her heavy cakes, they called it a caboose. It was on the outside. It almost looked like a tree stump put into the ground, and that's what the cakes were done in. And she made her own Christmas trees. I remember like a mop stick or a broomstick being the body of it, and I can't remember exactly what she may have used as limbs. It could have been guava tree limbs, and of course it wasn't any lights, but she had some kind of shiny bells that she put on it that, of course, it would sparkle, that it appeared as if the tree was lit. And that was when we lived in West Bay. And then that it was friends with everybody. And I remember Mr. Santo used to butcher goats at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
because
Mr. Santo Christian?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Santo Christian. And so that, and all these people that did their butchering, they knew Daddy. And, because of his job, he couldn't go and stand up and wait in the line. So they would always, put his allotment out. And once he was finished work, then he could go and get it. So he got his goat meat from Mr. Santo, and then Mr. Stewart, the man they called Dan Hogg,
Mm-hmm.
he used to butcher pigs and stuff, so he got his pork from him. And I don't remember who the beef came from, but he got beef from someone. Could have been Mr. Dan Hogg as well. So then when we moved into Georgetown, it was a whole other experience to us. And I remember our first Christmas tree in Georgetown was a weeping willow tree that Dad took us up to South Sound to cut. And he sat there and he helped us to decorate the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And since we had electricity, we could actually drape it with lights. And then Miss Essie Nixon, who was just down the road, she also made her own Christmas tree. She never bought a Christmas tree, to my knowledge, because I don't know if you remember, she was a great seamstress. And anything Miss Essie had that was, that I guess that could be made, she made it herself. And, these are memories, from my childhood. And I only knew one grandparent, which was my Nana here in Cayman. But we watched her and we learned a lot from her. And she basically did everything herself, even her own carpentry. She did herself.
Okay, wow.
Yep, she certainly did. And, I could go on forever, but other people are waiting. But I just wanted to share that little bit. And I do agree, these things have to be talked about. We have to remember. We have to teach our children and our grands. Otherwise, they're never going to know. It's just like with Hurricane Ivan. Some of them weren't born yet. They're asking questions about it. And as you and I both know, even the history on that has been rewritten. But those of us who experienced it, we can tell them the truth.
So true.
So I believe in, just saying it as it is, telling it as it was, regardless of whether it's flavorable or not.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Have a safe and happy holiday as well when it comes. Let's grab the next.
Thank you, and the same to you.
Thank you. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I guess I need no introduction.
Not with that voice.
O.C., you remember there was a restaurant right at the junction of Shedden Road and Elgin Avenue where the little upstairs car park is?
Yeah, Miss Hyacinth.
All right. And you remember the name of it?
No, I can't remember the name right offhand. Tell me.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland. Okay. Wow.
And the main cook in there, apart from the late Hyacinth Miles, was Miranda Nixon.
Miss Miranda, yes.
I can still taste some of those cream puffs you used to make those days,
Oh, yeah, and the patties were good, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, you had Mr. Garland's barber shop right next door.
Yeah, exactly. and then to the west of it, you had Vance Frederick's, and then the bar right across the road. And I can remember I used to sell pint bottles. So during the week, I used to go by the bar, collect my pint bottles to take down there.
To Mr. Lindbergh. Oh, D&G, okay. You remember Mr. Lindbergh Eden's bottling plant right there, too?
Exactly. Right opposite Man's shoe store.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day I going, waiting on someone to finish a beer, right at the bar. And you said, see my brother Edmund. He's asking what I doing here, because I'm not supposed to be here. I said, Mr. Seymour, I'm just waiting on that bottle of gentleman's drink now. He said, oh.
What a story!
Remember
wow.
all those days,
Wow.
The good old days,
They were.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had to call and let you all know about the restaurant.
Thank you very much for sharing that as well. And someone reminded me that Miss Amy Gold used to have some delicious patties, as well, down by the annex. Miss Amy Gold used to have some delicious patties also. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, can't forget your patties either,
No. Yeah, OC, well, it's nice to hear a lot back in the day there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to have to deliver bread up in the Archie Square and the around Marindale, and I never forget the same restaurant the guy mentioned just now, Newfound restaurant, Newfoundland. Yeah, and you know, right next door to that was Mr. Hilton. Had a shop.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then after Mr. Hilton, you had Mr. Scotty.
Scotty, we used to have a lot of produce, all the stuff that came from Jamaica. Yeah.
And then they had the parlor.
Mm-hmm. Then you had Erlon's to a record store and stuff. It was there.
He opened into the parlor building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you had the bar there.
Yeah.
That Captain Ben bar or something.
Standard bar. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
BU's shop used to be, and I think Miss Iris Faulkner had a shop there too. I don't know if she had it at the same time that BU or if she took over from BU. BU was a Cuban?
BU was more or less located in the market.
Yeah.
Which was like on Cardinal Avenue. And these are the places was on Shadon Road. But when you were mentioning about Woody.
Mm-hmm.
Woodrow Smith.
Yeah, you heard his daughter call in as well. Right. Well,
yeah.
That was really appreciated. I'm
Exactly.
so happy that she was able to call in and relate to that. Yeah.
And after we used to go through where the bar was to go to Bar Bay or
Mm-hmm.
Dora Bay they call it, swim and all of that.
Yeah.
But as I grew up, I had my bicycle on. But at the time I stopped him by the window where what it was, he would always say, "Lenny, hit me." I said, "Hit you?" He said, hit me with a word, man. I want you to hit me."
Uh-huh.
So I don't hit him with any words, and I tried not to hit him with any regular words. I'd always just look into the dictionary and see if I could find one that I didn't hear him with, But he would always know the meaning, man.
And the thing is, those days there was no such thing called an internet or anything like that where you could go on there and learn how to pronounce the word because they would have the sound there for you. No, you did
exactly. And I remember a friend of mine sent me a book from the States. I Ching. I don't know if you ever read into that. Anyway, different people that say different words and putting words together. And when I got the book, I was sort of going through it, and I found this part where I said I would hit Woody with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, this is why I asked him now. It came out, I found it in the book. It said, I said, can you explain to me where you would find the usefulness of a cup or a vessel? And he said, "Oh, Lenny, you got me. I say, "Well, I would like to know because you seem to know." And, I left him with that, and it was, I would say, good weeks that passed by, and he said, I haven't really found out. And he kept mentioning the person. No, that not it. And he said, "You got brief on that, Lena." And I said, "Well, the usefulness of a couple of vessel is found in its emptiness."
Yeah.
So I just thought I would share that with you today.
That's an interesting one. Yes.
And that's exactly where it is. would you fill up a cup? Is no more useful? I mean, it's useful by holding what it has.
Yes.
But you can't become useful again until you empty
it. Yeah, good point. Good point.
So, OC, I really appreciate what you do, especially in these times here, man, because, boy, some Caymanians seem to forget where we really came from.
Yeah.
I mean, like coming back with the mosquitoes. I remember going West Main, delivering bread with our old man, and if you ever get a flat, the first thing you can consider or should consider is making up a fire for the smoke to keep the mosquitoes. We got to keep the mosquitoes off of him and keep them off ourselves, but we got to get the mosquitoes at bay, that we can get this work done,
Yep. Okay. All right.
I mean, all right, OC. You take care, man.
Thanks. Take care. All the best. Stay safe. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we do have a caller on hold. We will take that caller. So 2 calls. So please stay tuned. I believe that's going to be the last 2 callers that we can accommodate when we come back from the break, Miss Susan. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
Kirk Freeport's $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back once again. Simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store, and you could win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and many other great prizes throughout December. All purchases of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. And don't forget the annual Kirk Freeport Rolex watch prize draw for all entries, held on January 4th. Full details on KirkFreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Feeling safe in your community is paramount to overall well-being. At the Security Center, we've been securing businesses, home, and infrastructures for over 20 years. This year, we're proud to receive the Global Seal of Approval from the International Organization of Standardization for our products, services, and operations, making the Security Center the first security firm in the Caribbean to achieve this level of certification. When it comes to putting security first, think Security Center, protecting your world 24/7.
Each Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of the Business Buzz is brought to you by Optical Outlook. Visit them at their new location in Anderson Square. Telephone 746-2020. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system for information that matter. For the record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. Before I go back to our last 2 callers, one of our listeners wrote in and said that they endorse what Lord Graham said about having a show like this on a date at least once a month. And I will say that may be something that we can work on. We do have we have a unified opposition because we used to have 2 opposition days, Wednesdays and Fridays. But since we have a unified opposition now, and any opposition member, they're crossing the aisle and going over to the government side rather than separating themselves from the opposition and being independent oppositions. They're moving over. So if the trend continues the way it is, then we can set one of those the Fridays off for that to happen as well. Also, one listener had some concerns about the masks that were provided, supposed to be provided for students, and that promises had been made that each student would get at least 4 or 5 masks. And they're saying that they're seeing government officials wearing the masks with the coat of arms, I believe it is, on it, and they were wondering whether or not the masks have been distributed as well. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Thanks for being so patient. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, Cap. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm still here in Frankfurt.
Great. Good to hear your voice.
You're talking about the whole time. Long before the war, they used to have a bicycle race. I don't think it was around what we used to call around the belt. It started by the courthouse, met up Shaden Road, round Crew Road, come down through South Sound, and ended down there.
Wow.
And I think I'm sure his name was Clarence Ebanks, but but we all called him Boy.
Yes.
He had the fastest bicycle in Cayman. It had a 804 chain wheel.
Wow, that was huge.
And a small spar, I don't remember the name of it, but he used to win that. He used to win that every race.
Okay, now the Clarence boy, is he the same person who used to live right next to the police station?
Right, that's Greg's father.
Craig's grandfather, my uncle as well. So I guess we can give credit for the genes in terms of the cycling part of it. Both Craig and I can give that to Uncle Boy.
Yeah, that's right. I was coming back to that. I didn't know you were family to him.
Yes. He and my mother, brother and sister.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then they also had I don't remember that was Boxing Day or they used to have an old people feast in the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
All the old people, and then they had another one they called the fancy dress party. You dressed up in different costumes and all of that, and they gave you a little prize. That was a big day. Everybody got out there to see that, got involved in that, especially the children.
Great.
We were very poor
Mm-hmm.
those days. Any little thing you got a little present, you were very happy on that.
Yeah, we were poor, but grateful for what we had.
Oh yes, we had a lot of fun, and I just thought I would pass that on.
Thank you very much, Captain Paul. I learned something new this morning about Uncle Boy, and I'm sure Craig, he can probably put that on his shop's website. The fact that his grandfather was a champion cyclist in the Cayman Islands.
That is correct. That is correct. In fact, I thought I've got to give you one of those booklets I wrote about. I got all of that in it.
Okay. If you share that with me, and then I can share some of that on the radio as well. Thank you, Captain Paul. I look forward to that. I'll come and check you to get it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too, sir. Or be blessed, and please stay safe. Final call for the morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for being so patient.
That's not called patience. That's called respect for the elder. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Morning, my dear.
Yeah, morning, sir. I need you to go down Top Star Lane with or without me.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather go with you because we got to go mine down there. Since we on to all this reminisce, we got to go Top Star Lane. And I think the only one left. So we need to go. And I was saying good morning to that Georgetowner they called a while ago, the lady one.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am. How you doing? And as usual, love these kinds of programs. And I didn't hear Lord Graham because I've been calling him for days.
They called twice this morning.
But everybody would second that, not motion, but that emotion. everybody will second that. In fact, you know where my heart is. It not getting anywhere, but you know where my heart is. And of course, good morning to our seamen, and I've met one in person over the last several days, and what a joy he is. Good morning to Mr. Tibbetts and the lady in the office as well. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Have a nice Christmas and a bright, prosperous, and healthy New Year, everybody. And please remind people that you're going on the 17th. I'll be sneaking out now.
Yes, no, I will.
I know you can find, and I can find a replacement, you know. You go and you can take a little break, and you deserve it, because sometimes it gets beat up bad.
Get rid of the bruises, right?
Yeah. So, but you can find somebody else to put in there.
Yes. The person right on the other end of this phone call would be an excellent person to put here.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay. I done all. I just tell you. Okay, I going now. I don't know, but okay,
I took that as affirmative. Yes, I would be willing.
I old. Nothing about me not changing.
But you have the experience.
Yeah, but you know what about that? I just want my Christmas music. If I could give that to me, I'd be happy and grateful and thankful. But I can drop a name. I can send you a name.
Okay.
I'm going to try to work on that.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All the best. Talk
Bye-bye.
to you later.
Bye-bye.
And I am reliably informed that Mr. Rayburn McLaughlin, also known as Mac, and Rayburn McLaughlin, considered one of the best block layers in the Cayman Islands. His services were always in demand. That Rayburn built those apartments for Mr. Woodrow Smith in Whitehall, and I also made to understand that Mr. Woodrow had a lot of respect for Rayburn, and in turn, Rayburn had a lot of respect for him, as well. And of course, those were the days when Caymanian, you heard his Mr. Smith's daughter talk about the fact that, you had to spread the business around. So she had to go to 3 different stores to buy different items. And here we have an attestation to the fact that Mr. Woodrow Smith also made sure that he gave work to his Caymanians. Rayburn McLaughlin built those apartments in Whitehall for Mr. Woodrow Smith as well, and I want to thank him for sharing that information as well. Folks, we have a rich history. We have so much to be proud of. But if we are to ensure that our story, that our history, that our culture remains the dominant one in the Cayman Islands, we have to continue to tell our stories. We have to continue to share those stories with our families, with our friends, especially the younger generation. Otherwise, it will disappear. Because we have seen what has happened in the past. Sometimes now we are amazed when we learn certain things, because our written history is not necessarily here in the Cayman Islands. We have to go to the archives in Jamaica. We have to go to Scotland, where they have kept all of the written history of the Cayman Islands. And we need to keep our history alive. And by keeping our history alive, we will keep our people alive as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, for the record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity. And that worthy charity can include the Given Tree that is located in the lobby of the government administration building, where you can go and pull off one of the cards or a few of those cards, and it will tell you the gift that you should purchase. It should be unwrapped, and you return it there to help those who are less fortunate than we are. So, folks, and I also want to encourage you to continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. By doing so, you can join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And like we always do, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands that we cannot afford to be lost in history.
By Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And RF Group, money at work.